3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is The Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here, and we've got a review here for Dolemite is my name. So since I've got a guest here, I'm going to do my best Dolemite impression here. So let me think. What do I got? Here we go. My guest might be white, but he's got respect in the hood. Black women love him because they call him KFC because he's finger looking good. My friend, my friend OJ.
Thank you. Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you. Not bad for off the top. I'll tell you that.
That was nice. Thank you for having me back yet again.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's a pleasure whenever you're on. And I gotta say, man, you actually beat me to this movie. You actually watched this before I did.
Yes.
And you were singing spray. So, quick backstory here. So, I never seen Dolemite. I never seen any of the Dolemite films. My third. No. So, I did watch Big Money Hustlers with you, which Rudy Ray Moore appears in as Dolemite.
Yep.
Which is a fucking trip to say the least.
Or the ghost of Dolemite.
Yeah, which is just it's hilarious. But the first time I actually saw Dolemite was with OJ because he's got the box set, which is a great investment, by the way. I don't know if anyone would put those in Blu-ray, but they should.
They absolutely should, because I have it on DVD, and I tell you, man, I've seen it like here and there, and just never quite lined up with like the finances and everything. But like the last time I saw it, man, I was like, you know what, just going for it, and oh man, am I so glad that I did.
It's been very entertaining to watch it because we watched Dolemite a couple times, and Dolemite's actually on Amazon Prime. If you guys have Prime, which if you don't, like, don't you? But I was really curious going in this because we talked about someone like Eddie Murphy. Man, so he's hosting Saturday Night Live in what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Something like that?
I think 3 weeks. I think doesn't he host it the same weekend as Star Wars?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, I think that weekend on the 20th. I think you're right. So, if you guys have listened to the channel for a while, Mr. Church is one of my least favorite films in the last 10 years. I fucking despise that movie. Tower Heist, not a fan of. 1,000 Words was really bad. Imagine That wasn't great. Meet Dave, that wasn't great. So, you really have to go back. Oh my god, he did I Spy. I actually didn't mind I Spy, but
Dreamgirls.
Yeah, Dreamgirls. But I bring up I Spy because Owen Wilson's in that, and he's just like an anchor around that movie. Like anytime Eddie Murphy's kind of funny.
Owen Wilson's an anchor on every movie.
I don't hate Owen Wilson, but Luke is definitely the more talented of the two.
By far.
Like let's just get that out of the way. So, but Dreamgirls is 2006, so that's been 13 years since I've liked him in something, which. Oh gosh!
When was the last time he was funny? Probably what?
I know
Shrek 1?
Yeah, like I know you're not a fan of Shrek 2. I like Shrek 2, so we'll just say the original Shrek was 2001. So let's cut the middleman. Let's say 2002.
Yeah.
So it's been
the PJs. I remember that.
Yeah, the kind of like that claymation looking.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I like the PJs, and I wanted Showtime to be good, and it's just not him, De Niro.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'll talk about De Niro next week when we review The Irishman because he's kind of been on that Eddie Murphy wavelength. I mean, Joker kind of saved him quite a bit because before that, De Niro was doing Dirty Grandpa and dumb shit like that.
I think De Niro was just trying to have some fun with some roles to get paid. Like motherfucker, I've been serious all these years.
No, I know, but he's got enough money he could buy a black woman at this point.
Damn.
Which if he could, he probably would.
I don't think so.
I mean like he'd go down to downtown Atlanta, buy by a black chick called Harriet Tubman. It'd be great. De Niro likes his sisters. That's all I'm saying.
He does. We would buy one.
He'd buy him a satin pillowcase because I stand by it. But going in this movie, all I'd been hearing was pretty much universal acclaim for Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
Which, again, not since Dreamgirls have I really heard everyone just go, he's amazing in this. So I was concerned going in because Dolemite, as cheesy as it is, and my God in heaven, it is. You can see, like, there are points you can see the boom mic standing in shots. And, and some, like, the kung fu, and I use kung fu, I'm doing quote marks right now. There are times where he's just not even close to hitting him. It is a hilariously bad movie, but at the same time, it's so fucking entertaining. You're like, okay, and at the end of the day, a movie is supposed to entertain you. Whatever medium you're digesting something in, it's supposed to entertain you. If it does that at the end of the day, then that's really at the end of the day what people remember. So going into this kind of works as a pseudo biopic, kinda, because it's not. I almost compare it to something like A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, where it is very much like I think you get enough background on Rudy Ray Moore to care, and you definitely do get more Dolemite stuff as the film progresses. But it's really kind of more of
how the movie gets made.
Above it being a standard biopic. But I think for what this is, it works really well, that format. Kind of your thoughts going in.
Well, I completely agree. This was, okay, I just gotta say, like, the set design, the costumes, everything was fucking rad in this.
Yeah.
The way it's shot, I thought, was done really well. So for, how do I put this? Like, for an overall look, they totally nail it. In terms of a driving narrative, it's a trip to, it's like going from, like, character creation, like, genesis to, like, an end product of a movie being released. Because, like, didn't the original movie make $12 million or something like that?
Yeah, it was, like, a huge smash.
Yeah, comparatively to how much it ended up costing.
Yeah.
So, because it feels like, especially with how the movie ends up leading off, it feels more like just like the movie being the end game, which I wouldn't call it a biopic.
Yeah.
So, because it doesn't touch on like what happens after that or anything like that.
That's a fair point. I mean, this gives you kind of the thing at the very end. It says, Dolemite made $10 million, or I think it was $10 million.
Something like that.
Like $10 million to be like one of the biggest hits of the year. They went on made, I think it said 7 more Dolemite, like movies starring Dolemite or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, the character lived on, but I think you're the one who brought this up. How they've been trying to make this apparently for a little while. Like, This is not a super new thing. But unfortunately, we lost Charlie Murphy. Rest in power, sir. And you brought up a good point. While I love Eddie Murphy in this, and do not misunderstand, I love Eddie Murphy in this.
He brought it.
And there's actually one thing about this that makes me love the movie more that I'll get to here in just a second. But you kind of wonder what Charlie Murphy would have been like as Rudy Ray Moore.
Agreed.
Because, Charlie Murphy, of course, you knew from Chappelle's Show and, stuff here and there. But this really could have been a star maker for him, what I mean? And so, in that aspect, it's very bittersweet that Eddie Murphy is really using this role to really get back in people's good graces. Because let's be real, he has not been there in a while. People kind of have been sleeping on Eddie Murphy.
Well, Eddie Murphy himself recently said that he's been in like a semi-retirement for the last number of years. So this is him, as he even put it, getting off the couch.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think it's fascinating that he was going to do these high-profile sequels, like with what he's got lined up after this. Like, I'm a little shocked he's going that route.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going back to what's familiar to you. Maybe. Yeah. But that's a whole other conversation. But what's interesting about this movie is, of course, Eddie Murphy plays Rudy, and Rudy is very much that classic hustler. He's that old he's your drunk uncle at the barbecue talking about how honestly he's granddad from Boondocks, and I mean that in the sense of he was talking about like, oh man, I was about to I knew Red Fox, and he happened to go up and talk to one person, and boom, he blew up. And you're just like, okay, come on. Like, it's like when Granddad talks about how they're related to Jackie Robinson and shit. and Riley's just like, why? It's very much that embellishing that Rudy does. I will say, too, Rudy, every outfit he had in here, he has this one red and black kind of like cab driver style hat with a jacket and pants. Dude, every outfit he had in this movie, I would go to a store and buy this no shame and go to work the next day. Like,
hey man, you could get this shit made.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I love the costume. The costume design in the so. I'm gonna do kind of a weird thing. I'm gonna go over my complaints first because I have so much to praise about this movie. The big complaint I have about this is that Rudy, he basically creates the Dolemite character because they have this one, as he calls him, a hobo come in, and he's just talking. He's talking shit. He's coming
hobo
in,
talk.
Yeah, hobo talk. He's coming in to get some soup. Unfortunately, this hobo does not have a shotgun, but but I know, right? Great movie if you haven't seen it. But he comes in and is talking that talk, and Rudy kind of after walking him out kind of goes, huh, okay. Ends up chasing him down later that night, and takes a tape recorder. With money he borrowed from his auntie, and goes ahead and goes like, oh, I got money, just start talking. And I really, really want to know this aspect of the story because he flat out takes, it's very much the whole Vanilla Ice Baby thing. It's like he didn't exactly steal the shit, but it was a very strong floor for him to build the Dolemite character. And I kind of was like, okay, so what happened to the hobo? Did he hook him up? I would hope he did, considering he, quote, borrowed, unquote, his shit. I'm just replaying that whole episode of Sunny in my head now. Oh, well, Coke is this is Pepsi. Like that whole crap Max bit. So I really would have liked to have known about that aspect of the story, because he just he takes the stuff, tweaks it just enough, debuts his Dolemite at this club he goes ahead and MCs at, and it's just off to the races from there. So I would have liked a little bit more of a grind from him to him becoming Dolemite, as opposed to him just kind of going there and just kind of taking the crap and it just going from there. I really would have liked a little bit more of that aspect, because he does have to grind once he becomes Dolemite. But just him kind of becoming Dolemite so quick, I kind of was like, oh, I would have liked a little more of that, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And the other complaint I have is, dude, I'm just not over it, man. Seeing T.I. in this, thankfully he's not in it a lot, but just seeing T.I.'s just not a good actor, man. He just isn't. Like, even in this, he's not terrible, but they give him some good dialogue. He's this record exec who basically is like, hey, man, and this is kind of a theme of him going, look, this is, I know you want this, but you're playing to a very niche audience. And I think for this movie where so many people, from Snoop Dogg to a very limited role by Chris Rock to Craig Robinson to Titus Burgess, who I love on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, how everyone else brought it. T.I. really sticks out like a sore thumb, and I really was just like, dude, I'm like, come on, man, like, try a little more. I just watched Rebel Wilson, Jojo Rabbit, and she actually made me laugh a couple times, so what the hell was your excuse? I just thought he was, like, stay out of your daughter's sex life, by the way, perv, but
completely fair.
But he stuck out more to me, especially because of the woman who plays Lady Reed, who, oh my god, I'm going to say Davine Joy Phillips. I don't know if this is... Okay, so she's been in a couple things. Oh, she's in This Is Us, or is on This Is Us. Dude, she's amazing, man.
She is.
She is absolutely incredible. She's on Empire. I'm black, but I don't watch Empire. What are you going to do, I don't like shows with flyers, but anyway. Oh. I didn't say who lied. Maybe I'm talking about Terrence Howard lying about Robert Downey Jr. You don't know.
But
But Lady Reed, though, I think for me that's when the movie really picks up because, you know, you get him as Dolemite, you get Rudy's banter with his friends, Jimmy, who's played by Mike Epps, and that was the other thing I was going to bring up. I usually hate Mike Epps in everything he's in. He bugs the shit out of me. I cannot stand Mike Epps. He's one of those black comedians where people go, "Oh yeah, Mike Epps is great," and I just kind of look like, really? like why is he so?
He's been in a couple things that are okay, but he's not that good.
I think he sucks, man. I really do. This is the most I've ever liked him in something. To be completely honest, I was like, oh,
I feel like there was something in the early 2000s I liked him in.
Well, we're scrolling through here. Let's see.
I liked him in Next Friday.
Fine.
I'm just saying, like, you know.
Probably the most I liked him before this was in. Oh God, I'm trying to think. Okay, he wasn't bad in Roll Bounce. I'll give him that. Roll Bounce, he's actually all right in that. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins is just some black foolishness. I despise that movie. Next Day Air is bad. Lottery Ticket's bad. Let's see. Good God, there's so much bad crap here. He was Black Doug. In the Hangover movies. Okay, that is so this is the first most I've liked him, but that's the second most I liked him was as Black Doug. But I don't know, man. But he was good in this. The big thing with this movie is that the core group of friends is really the driving force, which is, you know, Eddie Murphy's Rudy, Mike Epps, Jimmy, Craig Robinson's Ben. I love Craig Robinson so much. He's basically, I want to be the Craig Robinson of podcast. Man.
Oh my God.
Like, you know, I might start singing on here. You don't know, but I love Craig Robinson in pretty much everything he's in. So it was really cool to see him in this, and of course he's singing because why wouldn't he be?
Of course.
Speaking of singing, the music in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the soundtrack is just
dope.
It's lit AF as the kids would say.
Lit AF as the kids would say.
Yeah, see, I'm hip, but it's the music is so good in this, and I think the big compliment I can give this movie, I found myself cheering on Rudy. I know Dolemite's gonna get made, like I know it is, but I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, well, it's giving me a little doubt. Well, what happens? Is this a Back to the Future thing where someone else made Dolemite? But it works so well, and there's a lot of surprisingly dark moments in this, and I'm not just talking about the cast, but you know this film set smelled like cocoa butter, but you know, I'm not saying anything even close to offensive as Dolemite did.
Oh, I know. Can I talk about one thing that I really love about this?
Please.
A man by the name of one Sir Wesley Snipes.
Dude, yeah.
So as D'Urville Martin, oh my God, that coke nail was a sight.
Yeah.
Did you see that nail?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He was such an arrogant douche. In that, throughout the whole bit, he was hilarious, though. Like, I haven't had Wesley Snipes make me laugh like that in a while. Well, I mean, he was great.
Well, I mean, you know, I was happy that he was in this, too, because it's like, oh my God, see what happens when you pay your taxes? You can actually work. Like, go figure. But Wesley Snipes in this movie, you're right, he's such an arrogant asshole, but he's the only one who kind of knows what the fuck they're doing because he's worked on, you know, like, actual movie sets, as he puts it. And I will say, with the way his arc wrapped up, you just go, God, what a douchebag. like he's such just a pure, genuine jackass that you're actually almost impressed with it, right? in a weird way. There's so much about this movie I want to discuss, and I'm trying to just like rein it back. So I want to go back to Eddie Murphy real quick.
Eddie Murphy.
They even kind of talk about in the movie. Talk about how, you know, he's like, I've got a gut. I don't look like I don't look like the typical Hollywood lead man, and that ends up coming back with Lady Reed, who, dude, when they have a scene later on in the movie where she talks about how grateful she is that he got her in this movie because she didn't grow up seeing girls like her. And dude, that scene just made me go, oh damn. I was like, okay. Like, I didn't cry. I did not cry. But I got choked up. And, you know, and I'll be honest, man, that message, that right there, that applies to just black film really in general right now. I mean, we're getting more of it now, thankfully. Not just from Tyler Perry, which I'll be nice and not go off, but it was a really cool moment and a very human moment in a movie that, as fantastical as it gets, and dude, it gets
quite fantastic.
Yeah, there's a point where they're in a strip club, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast. I've never gone to a strip club. Don't really have a desire to. Just no stigma or anything like that. Hustlers kind of killed the strip club for me. I'll be honest, man. Like,
that's fair, man.
Hustlers had some shit about strip clubs. I went, oh, I was like, it's like when you find out what hot dogs are made of. It's like I didn't want to know that. Why'd you peer the curtain all the way back?
Why'd you stab my ears?
Yeah, right. But but that's actually a thing in the South, where Atlanta especially, where strip clubs are kind of like the coffee shops down there, where you can just go down there, actually go ahead and make a deal, and the fact that it's a strip club, people don't even think twice about it. So I kind of like that little cultural kind of prelude, as it were. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's nice. I get that. I'm blanking. I think they say Rudy's from Alabama, I want to say.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and he has a scene where he's yelling at his dad's picture as Dolemite.
Yeah.
Dude, that scene gave me... And that's when I went, okay, Eddie Murphy might be back. And I say might be because, Eddie Murphy, he's like that ex that cheats on you and says, oh, I learned my lesson. Like, anytime I'm ready to let Eddie Murphy back in, he makes me meet Dave or something like that. So I hope he's back. I really hope he's back. But this is one of the best performances of his career.
Yeah.
It really is. And honestly, this might be the most varied performance of his career. And the reason I say that, you get your singing Eddie Murphy, you get your dancing Eddie Murphy, you get your emotional Eddie Murphy, because the last 45 minutes-ish, he kind of has to he's got to pull out some dramatic stuff, especially near the end when Dolemite actually opens. And there's a scene of him and this kid that I thought was just...
It's a damn good scene.
Just a beautiful cherry on top. I went, oh, yes, that's amore. That's
amore.
Like, that's how you do it. But you feel his desperation as Rudy, because there's that point where, Dolemite's a hit. He's selling records. He's really kind of like a pro wrestler. He's really kind of hitting the scene and just, hitting the club each night, just grinding it out, and which makes you more endeared to him more, because, I mean, I know you've been doing the podcast for a couple years.
I have.
We're coming up on year 5, year 6 in April. I mean, and it's been a grind, but as, someone who's somewhat artistic, shockingly, I appreciate the grind, and the movie does endear you more to him by seeing him go through that grind, which I really did appreciate, which is where he ends up meeting Lady Reed anyway. But you get to learn more about him in that way, and you really are endeared to his hustle and his work ethic. That club he's moonlighting at, that club owner, but he kind of looked like Kingpin Jr. He's just like a big brother. He's just like he's talking to Rudy. He's just like, dude, he just stops just short, going like, nigga, just go do your set and leave me alone. Like, Rudy's coming up to him like, hey man, I want to try and do this, and why is my name in the marquee? And he just looks like, go away, 5 minutes. Like, I told you, that's all you get. And he comes in dressed as Dolemite, or a Mark I version of Dolemite, I would say.
A Mark I.
Yeah, I got.
Or no, in this case, a Mite 1.
Yeah, there you go. But he comes in dressed as like an earlier version of Dolemite, and he tells him, you look like a pimp, which he's wearing this like split piece suit, green looking suit, which is great, by the way. He goes on stage, tells his jokes. Go does exactly the opposite of what the guy told me. He said, go do your set And of course he starts talking like Dolemite. He's talking.
The monkey story.
About stepping on the monkeys. About stepping on the monkey's feet. The one part I do remember is talking about a guy's mama doing a hell of a trick, and she got so low she sucked her earthworm stick. I was like, damn! Like I wasn't even watching it. I went, whoo, okay,
that's a spicy one.
And the movie is filled with stuff like that. Dude, I'm mildly terrified that like a 10-year-old black kid's gonna do what I did, like hear some Def Comedy Jam, like this will be their equivalent. Like, I was like, I'll sit on the playground. It'll be great.
Oh man,
yeah. And I will tell you, if you say anything from this movie, yeah, dude, I couldn't walk into my job and go, oh hey guy, like I got story from you.
Oh yeah, that'd go over like a fart in a space.
Yeah, that'd be really bad. And so yeah, don't go out in public and say this shit unless you're at an open mic night. Then you'd probably be fine. Maybe.
I question that now myself.
Yeah, because I don't know. Where can you say stuff anymore?
This is true.
But that whole set he does gets people going. He goes ahead and becomes Dolemite, obviously. And I think where, for me, a lot of the comedy comes in, because I think this is a really funny movie, but so much of the comedy comes in from them actually making Dolemite. They end up having a sex scene in the movie, and oh man,
it's a humdinger.
So he's fucking a white girl, which I mean, gold star. I mean, like, what every NFL player watches, but what say, but the sex scene is so incredibly absurd, but it's so wonderfully brilliant. And I remember that scene in the movie because I didn't know what Dolemite was until I watched it with OJ here. I had no idea what I was expecting. And then, just a sex scene from nowhere. Multiple, actually.
Yep.
That might be the second one. But, yeah, Dolemite gets down quite a bit. But it's such a funny scene, and the way it's filmed, it really mirrors what it happens in the actual movie, which is a trip when you see it side by side, because they do a little bit of that.
They do.
Near the in the credits, which I thought was great. One guy I want to talk about who we haven't touched on is Keegan-Michael Key, who, of course, part of Key and Peele. His friend is doing kind of well for himself, and Keegan's done really well for himself.
Yeah.
Which he was in that John Cena movie Playing with Fire, so if I meet him, I'm like, come on, man, like I know you're better than that, but he's really good in this. He's kind of so he runs like a theater troupe, I want to say, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the guy who writes the script essentially.
That's right. Yeah. So I remember he writes the script, but I think he's running some sort of theater troupe or something like that. But he is interesting because he wants to go ahead and portray messages and really kind of get down to the nitty gritty. And if you go back and watch Dolemite, which I did, you actually can see Jerry's influence.
Yep.
As far as corrupt cops and stuff like that, and you go, oh, there's actually some surprising social commentary, because I think so many people will take this at face value and just go, this is insane, and there's gunfights and random kung fu and all that,
and it is insane with random kung fu.
Yeah, but there is a shocking amount of social stuff there if you just dig slightly deeper. Yep. Beyond the very hilarious exterior that it gives you. I got to throw it to you, man, as we kind of wrap up. I mean, any complaints about this?
Let's see. I mean, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't really have many. I don't know if I have really any at all. There's so much of it to like. Nah, man, I don't really have any complaints with this. Fair
enough.
At least none that I could think of.
Okay.
Because I enjoyed it from start to finish.
Yeah.
It was just straight up fun. I hope Eddie Murphy is back as well. I agree with you in the sense of, this is a good sign.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel safer for Coming to America 2.
Yeah.
Than Saturday Night Live. I'm still really worried about that.
Saturday Night Live's gonna be very telling.
Yeah,
because if he knocks a home run, on that, people do settle down, kind of go like, okay, but if that's bad. And let's keep in mind, I think the other thing that people, I mean, it's a little unfair, but 'tis the world. So many people's last opinion of Eddie Murphy was that really awkward Saturday Night Live thing he had, that appearance he had. So I'm a little worried. I'll be the first to admit, but I'll be watching when it comes out. I will be like, okay, let's see.
Would it be now? I'll tell you. This is what I kind of almost half expect to happen. Okay, and this would suck. I do not want this to happen, but I'm saying this is like a half prediction here, in the sense of don't be surprised.
Okay.
Don't be surprised if Eddie Murphy just does the monologue.
Okay.
And the cast does everything else.
Oh, that would be so sad. Oh, I don't want that at all.
Don't be surprised.
Oh, God. Oh, I really hope that's not true. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, too, Snoop Dogg's in here as a DJ, and, man, you know what? I hope I can be Snoop Dogg when I grow up, because Snoop Dogg is just living his best life, man. I think Snoop Dogg's so high, he doesn't even know where he is. They're just like, read these lines, like, all right, for shizzle my no, just have a conversation. We don't care. Like, Eddie will walk you through it.
I would listen to a radio station with him as the DJ.
Oh, I would too. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
But Snoop Dogg's actually even good in this. Like as high as he clearly is. But I don't know, man. Everyone really did bring it here, and while I got a few complaints here and there, the ending to this movie really gave it a strong bump for me.
Yeah.
The whole premiere and going to the premiere, because again, I didn't know, I wasn't around when this came out. So when there was that tension of them going to the premiere, it is like, oh well, is there going to be anyone there? What's going to happen? Like, did they have to grind more? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they just tweak and make little adjustments on to keep you in suspense. And I think the movie does a really great job of that. The director of it, and I am completely blanking on the director. Oh, that's Craig Brewer. Thank you. He went ahead and did Hustle and Flow, and I really like Hustle and Flow. He also did Katy Perry, Part of Me, which, you know, what are you going to do? And I didn't think it'd be great, but...
he was a screenwriter for Legend of Tarzan. Huh.
Oh, well, yeah. No.
Oh, he directed Footloose.
Oh, well, that's the...
and Black Snake Moan.
Okay, I actually really like Black Snake Moan quite a bit, so that's... Go figure. And I'm not even gonna try this guy's last name. Larry. I'm just gonna go Karaszewski. I'll go with.
Yeah. Something
So
like
he did. He's done a couple movies that are very interesting. So he's a screenwriter on Problem Child 1 and 2.
Classics.
Which I like Problem Child 1 and 2. I fully acknowledge that 2 is insane. The first one's better. Anyways, he was a screenwriter on Man on the Moon.
And Ed Wood and The People vs. Larry Flint.
Both movies I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And the first Agent Cody Banks is actually really good. The second one is absolute dog shit. But 1408. I like 1408. He did Goosebumps. Okay, he's done a lot of stuff I actually like. Go figure. But this is just another great writing credit for him. He did a great job with this.
Yep.
The movie's got enough jokes to keep you going, but then oh my god, he looks like a handsome Toby Keith. Look at
that's Craig Brewer.
Craig Brewer, pardon me, but he does look like a handsome Toby Keith. But this movie though, man, wrapping up for me. While I don't really have any complaints, I just don't know if I can go fan-fucking-tastic on it, so I'm gonna give this a solid A+. It's just a step below, and honestly, my mind could change. This is gonna be... I'm gonna say it'll be top 10, but I've still got a lot of crap to watch, so it could drop out, but for right now, this will be my top 10. I really, really enjoyed this, and Eddie Murphy damn sure deserves an Oscar nomination. But I will say, too, and I hope they kind of follow up on this, Divine Joy Randolph, I hope they push for Best Supporting Actress with her.
I agree. Because
I thought she was, like, there's so many of the emotional cruxes of this movie, and so many of the emotional moments involve her. Their initial meeting it's really interesting to see how Rudy, meets her in this bar, and he's talking. I think he calls her cute. I'll say the first time they meet, and she goes, yeah, you look at me up and down. I'm not cute, which is a really it shows her state of mind.
Yeah,
and it really does hurt you because you're like, there's no there's no limit or weight or whatever on what's beautiful. Just seeing her that downtrodden, actually kind of hurt my chest a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So seeing where she starts to where she ends up, I love her journey as much as I like Rudy's. So, you know what? I just talked myself into it. Fan-fucking-tastic. I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm like, no, yeah. Despite my few gripes, man, this was just such a surprise. I think that's part of it too. Because if people were saying, "Oh, it's great," Eddie Murphy, I'm like, I don't believe you, because you're probably the same people who said American Hustle is good. So I'm just like, but I thought this was great. So yeah, fan-fucking-tastic for me. OJ, final thoughts, grade.
Fan-fucking-tastic. That's where, yeah, man. I dug the shit out of this. As a big fan of Dolemite, this is a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I would love a full, flat out remake of Dolemite featuring all these people.
I'd watch it.
Oh, hell yeah. Just for that would be the ultimate badass, Blu-ray extra to include a full-on version of Dolemite done with Eddie Murphy and cast. God, they could have filmed it all at the same time. I mean, shit, without the shots, man. But yeah, I was really shocked at how good Eddie Murphy is in this. I was really shocked at everybody being as good as they are, but I questioned whether he could really pull something like this off again. And it's a little bit of a taste of his delirious days, and in terms of some of the language. I mean, he hasn't really, since the Shrek movies, he hasn't been really a four-letter word runner as much as he used to be. So, I'm talking, in terms of the movies he puts out, he went real family friendly there for a while.
Yeah, hey, that pays well.
It does. Yeah. But so this was a nice surprise in that regard, and if that rumor's true, man, about the $1 million a minute. Stand-up special for Netflix. Man, what would he talk about for an hour?
I don't know, man. You just made me think of Daddy Day Camp when you said family friendly, and I was like, oh god, he did do that.
He did do that.
Yeah, it's a really bad.
It is.
I really hate that Day Camp. The second one's actually worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, a girl all seen at the time, her kid put it on one night, and I remember just being like, God, this won't work out.
This won't work out at all.
God,
this kid has bad taste in movies.
Yeah, seriously, dumb kid. But
did she hear that?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I just thought it because, but God, Daddy's. I almost said Daddy's home. That's not right, Daddy Day Camp. But yeah, man, hope this is a start of an upward swing for him. I will say the picture he posted with Chris Rock and Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, that picture recently, he did not look happy.
With Arsenio Hall as well.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah, he did not look... Because Coming to America 2 was filming next door to Bad Boys 3.
That's right, yeah, Bad Boys for Life. And I'm just going to say, too, Eddie, and, I know you're listening, but you really need to take this second chance seriously, and don't be frowning and shit. Seriously, and I'm saying this as a fan, take this seriously. Be grateful that people are kind of going oh, all right. So, zip it. Just, come on, brother. Take advantage of this. So
I do question if we really do need a Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Yeah,
I'm more interested in a Coming to America 2.
Okay,
because just of how America was viewed, man. If you think about it, granted it's in jest and comedy and everything, but it's still insightful in certain ways, and I'm real curious to see how Coming to America 2 goes for that very reason, with how things have progressed or went sideways or backwards, however you want to view it. But I don't feel that way about fucking
Hills Cop 4.
Yeah. And also too, I do want to say this, I don't really want triplets either.
Yeah, I'm not super crazy about that idea.
Yeah. So folks at home, in case you don't know what triplets is, that is supposed to be the sequel to Twins.
Yeah.
Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, with both of them reprising their roles, and Eddie Murphy being their long-lost third triplet.
Yeah.
I just don't... It's the sequel that is so beyond unnecessary, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not opposed to seeing Arnold and Danny DeVito working together again.
Yeah. I mean, it's unnecessary to go ahead and make a sequel off something that people like, like you don't want to ruin the magic. Sorry, I was reading my DC notes. I apologize, but I digress.
Oh, that hurts.
I'm right.
It still hurts.
Yeah, I know, but
But
look, guys,
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, hey, we're getting a Joker sequel. You know what?
Yeah, I don't want that either.
Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it'll be good.
There's not everything needs a sequel, and Joker does not need a sequel. And I saw the movie 3 fucking times in theaters.
Yeah.
I love the film, but it does not need a sequel.
Now, and I told OJ the moment they had that opening weekend, I was like, dude, there's a sequel coming. And,
I know.
And OJ, being of sound mind, was like, they don't need a sequel. I'm like, I agree with you, but I'm telling you, we're getting one. Here's the thing, and I'll say this as we kind of wrap up. If you're gonna go full Joker, he has to fight someone. And that's the problem. The rumor is that for Joker 2, the Batman that they're going to have is Bradley Cooper. That is a rumor right now. Now, here's where you get into the whole, well, if Joker's, the current age he is now and Bruce is like 10, then how did Joker do? Like, I'll be honest, guys, and I never thought I would say this. I will give DC a pass if they just say something in Crisis on Infinite Earths, which starts this week. I want to say.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
yeah, I think it starts next Sunday. But if they just say something in Crisis where they go, oh man, like everything is like merged together or whatever. Like, what else could have been changed? If they just do some very simple line like that, just to give them the out to go, well, look, it all combined in multiple universes. Like, if they did something like that, I'd go, you know what? Fine. Like,
I mean, to me, that's where it feels like it's going.
Yeah.
With all the stuff they've been laying through to kind of do thread a needle, or to have a thread go through many different needles. Because, I mean, they're going to have a Michael Keaton reference in there. I mean, just as, for instance, God, everybody's coming back for this motherfucker,
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, Brandon Routh, though. Oh, so excited for that.
Like I said, I hope it's good, but yeah, DC just... Again, the moment that movie opened with what it did, I went, yep, sequel. I was like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if we need one or not. We don't. But I don't know. Like I said, I did not love Joker as much as some people did, but I didn't, wish death on it like a lot of people. I'm like, guys, like it's a good movie with a great performance. Like, I just don't love it, but Joaquin's amazing in it. So as long as Joaquin's coming back, then at least it could be okay. At least.
So what if? Okay, I pose a theory to you.
Okay.
So in the comics,
yeah.
So there's the whole 3 Jokers thing, right?
Yes.
What if this Joker, the Joaquin, ends up kind of like training a new Joker to kind of add a little credence to that theory, but also give you plausible way for him to die and still have the Joker carry on? Because how many times should the Joker have died?
Yeah, I know, but
I'm just saying maybe.
So I'll be honest, I read up on the whole 3 Jokers thing, and I think it's a stupid idea. I don't.
I didn't say it was a good idea,
but I mean,
I'm just saying, if you're looking for continuity in a comic and things like that, I'm merely just putting that out there into the universe.
I mean, that's a fair point. I hate that that's a fair point, but that is a fair point. And maybe that's the way you have to go with it. Maybe you have to pull something like that to justify Joaquin coming back. Because, yeah, I mean, you know what, hell, just say that another Batman came over from another Earth, and that's why he's there. Just do that. You know, there you go, DC. There, I just came you out. Just say Batman, whoever, from Earth 619, Rey Mysterio's Earth, whatever. Just like...
Now, unless they have the Joker kind of go try to take over some like organized crime family,
like go with like the Falcons or something
like that, like kind of like a evil versus evil sort of thing.
Yeah,
and not necessarily make him anti-hero, but you kind of have to. I don't know. Like, there's
villains fighting villains, so you want like a Suicide Squad movie? Is that what I mean, I wish you guys could see the face of OJ looking at me right now.
Oh god, I hate that movie so much.
Yeah, it's not good. God. But hey, here's the hoping. I will review Crisis with you.
I'm down.
Because look, and I will just say this, God, I feel like this is like my apology tour whenever DC thing comes out. Look, I want Crisis to be good, not just so I don't have DC fans tweet at me talking about how much I suck, but as someone who enjoys Crisis and has put in his time with DC shows. I actually watched, I watched Arrow till season 5, and after the whole Rachel Gould shit, I just went, I'm kind of out. I stuck with Supergirl for 3 seasons, but as much as I'm not a fan of our current president, even it got a little to like Trump sucks heavy. I'm like, guys, like you know, this is a Supergirl show, right? And bringing on Superman, I thought was just unnecessary. But,
same.
But that's a whole other thing. And Batwoman, I'm 2 episodes behind, but what I've seen so far, I have not been impressed with. So I hope that with Brandon Routh coming back as Superman, which, by the way, he got so much crap for Superman Returns, unfairly, might I add. My problem with that are the script, not his portrayal. But I'm a huge Brandon Routh fan. He was great on Chuck. He's great in Scott Pilgrim. Brandon Routh is just awesome. I just love that dude. And he's great on Legends of Tomorrow. So I'm really happy he's getting a chance to come back and be Superman. I'm happy Kevin Conroy's getting to play Bruce Wayne actually in person for once, which, good for him.
Yeah.
You know, and the amount of Easter eggs I think is going to be just ridiculous, but that's my biggest concern, is that it's just going to be Easter Egg Fest 2019. So hopefully they can weave a good narrative through there.
I'm hoping so too.
And tie everything up. And I mean, hey, props just for the attempt on this, because they're attempting to connect
everything pretty much.
Yeah, like basically from when did one come on? Like it's like 60s,
77.
So they're trying to connect roughly. Let's just conservatively say 50 years of media roughly from their TV shows on, basically, and comics and all that together. That's ambitious as hell. So I'll give credit just on the attempt, just like Evel Knievel. But if they fuck this up, I'm gonna be the first one to go, guys, they fucked it up. So cross my fingers, please don't fuck this up. Please make my life easier and knock this out of the park. So come on, good Crisis. We'll see, but
we will see.
We will see. Yeah, I believe it starts next week. I want to say. You know, I'm gonna Google that real quick as we wrap up here. But OJ, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me and my tag team partner KJ on Twitter at KJ and OJ spelled out. That is KJANDOJ. Our show is called On the Fly. You can find us on SoundCloud. My personal Twitter is at TheO2TheJ. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/O2TheJ. That is all with a number 2 in there.
Perfect. And it is next Sunday. So next Sunday it starts. So it should start with Batwoman and Supergirl. So I'll be watching those Monday.
Yeah.
Let me know.
I'm down.
Perfect.
I'm so excited for Brandon Routh. I can't even begin to express, yeah.
Oh, we both freaked out when we saw, oh my god, why am I blanking on the name of Superman? Not Red Dawn Superman.
Oh, Kingdom Come?
Thank you. Yeah. When we both saw, we were like, oh shit, like, okay, he looks fantastic.
And he's basically, like, gotta point out to people, he's basically Superman Prime in the sense, like, he's Reeves' Superman.
Yeah.
Because the official canon is Superman Returns is a sequel to Superman 2. So bringing Brandon Routh back is bringing back the same Superman as Christopher Reeve.
First off, R.I.P. to Christopher Reeve. Secondly, Superman was the first superhero movie I ever saw, and I think it's. And look, I understand. Like,
holds up.
I understand it's better Superman stuff's come out and all that, but really got to give Christopher Reeve some props, man. I think he is very unfairly overlooked as far as his portrayal as Clark Kent. Obviously, the script is not great at points, but his acting in it. He put everything into that, man. I give him a lot of credit for that. At a point, and I think too, just with where we are with superheroes, there's a fucking Cloak and Dagger show for fuck's sake. Like there's so much superhero media right now, but back then there was nothing, and that was a risk back then. Now we got Aquaman movie for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? So,
I do. But hey, I mean. It's awesome to see, like, that's the continuity they're sticking to.
Agreed.
Like, bringing that in. So, I mean, I'm personally stoked. I'm really stoked for that alone.
Yeah. And as someone who is a Superman fan, despite the fact he is the hardest character to write in comics, don't at me, I am very curious on how Superman's going to be portrayed. The fact they're even tying in Smallville, I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's a trip to see Tom Welling come back.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. So we'll see. We will see. But you can go ahead and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearmanthefirst. You can follow Colin on Twitter at TheReelOneal. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. And you can go ahead and find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and Spotify at The Real Pineapple. And guys, please don't forget to check out our sponsor, Stadgeist Design, stadgeist.studio, on Instagram. That's STADTGEIST.studio. And use that code REALP2019 for 10% off your order. You are welcome. Guys, this upcoming week, actually the next couple weeks, because there's a lot coming out. We'll have a review up for Just Mercy. We'll have a review for Marriage Story, the happiest movie of the year. And, dude, I'm halfway through Marriage Story. It is rough, man. Not in a bad way, but it is a bummer of a movie. We'll have a review up for The Irishman, which I'm just gonna have to sit down Friday night or Saturday morning. It's 3 hours and 30 minutes. I'm like, fuck, that's so Scorsese, get an editor, you asshole. Like,
seriously,
it's like, dude, and I would just like to point out that the de-aging technology used, that's something that Disney's been using, so... But I'll save that for the review of The Irishman. And we'll have a review up as well for... And I have to re-rent this because of you, Goober. Cool as Eyes. I have to re-rent that. Because the rental ran out, so I have to re-rent Cool as Eyes, so... Vanilla Ice, you're making like 30 cents off me. You're welcome. But we are reviewing that.
Cool as Ice.
God help me. Yeah, that's a Vanilla Ice movie, by the way.
I've seen it. I've seen it, folks. The Riff Tracks version is hilarious.
Yeah, I might watch that as I go to bed tonight. But guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good week.